Welcome to the NASTAD ClickUP training. In the following video, we will learn how to add technical assistance activities and tasks within a ClickUP work area. After watching the video, you will have the skills needed to add an activity as a task, update additional information inside a task activity, create a subtask to assign an additional activity to an activity, attach an activity as a relationship to another task or activity. Let's begin by logging into the application. If you don't remember your password, click the Forgot Password button. If you never received credentials, please reach out to ClickUp@nastad.org to be set up. Okay, on the left side panel, you will see a list of spaces. Spaces break down your organization into different departments, teams, groups, high-level initiatives, or anything else we want to group at a high level. Nested within spaces are lists. We're going to be working with the TA activity intake list that will ingest each task and move it into the appropriate folder. I will be working directly out of the Year 2 progress report, which has most of our information already documented. Begin by updating the task name so that it is searchable at a later time. Before ClickUp will allow us to save the activity, we have to add a few additional information fields. Click the additional info icon so we can add the following updates. First, the jurisdiction for which the technical assistance took place. Next, select the technical assistance type, which is the category of event extracted from the progress report. If needed, we can continue to modify these categories as new ones arise. Next, we want to provide a description of the purpose of the TA activity. And lastly, we want to give the activity some labels or tags. Now, tags and labels can be whatever we want them to be. So if you don't see the one listed, you can create one by just typing your own and selecting the Create button. An example of that will be done as such for Carvin. I click Create, and now that saves it. And that's that. We finished the exercise by clicking the Save button. You'll notice the task disappears after a few minutes, and don't worry, it's not gone. It's just moved to the technical assistance activity list, which we'll be working with in the next part of the video. Click in the Technical Assistance Activity folder to see the additional categories for the technical assistance types. I saved the initial task as stakeholder engagement, so I'm going to click into that list. Information provided in the task will give everybody, not just team members that are associated with the task, information related to the activity. That includes time information, additional documentation, presentation material, or even email communications. So I'm going to begin by updating my portion of the time tracked within this particular task. So I click into the time track list and I type in 2 hours, which includes the time to prepare and the time to have the call. Now, if I'm actually working on this task ongoing, I can go ahead and update it as a timer, or I can update it as a range. If it is something after the fact, I can just add it in manually. And you'll notice that the activity for myself, in addition to anybody else that's going to add activity, will be loaded here as well. We need to next add the estimation of time. Now, this may be difficult for tasks that have been completed months ago, but do your best to be as accurate as you can. Hopefully the information from the Excel sheets will sort of help you, and even old email communications may help you. So I'm going to go ahead and just put 2 hours because this is the typical time for a preparation and discovery call. And now I need to move on and add the date information. So this particular project started in the beginning of August, and it ended at the end of September. So for you, projects may be ongoing. If they were a one-time, that's going to dictate how your dates are applied, but do your best to be as accurate as you can. Next, we need to go ahead and add the outcome of the technical assistance that we provided. Since mine was completed, which I'm going to go ahead and mark the task as completed, use this time now. And I'm going to come into the task activity that I provided from the previous sheet. And I'm going to update that now. And remove that X that I just put in. So now I've got all the information from a content perspective, but I don't have any of the additional documentation. I don't have some of the emails. So I'm going to show you some additional tools that ClickUp has that's going to allow us build some of the additional content. As I say that, I want to go back and actually note that I do also need to add my assignees. So myself, the ClickUp administrator, as well as anybody else that participated, including Nicole. What we're going to do now is we're going to click on these three dots, and it's going to allow us to do some additional functionality. So the first thing we're going to want to do is we're going to want to add this to our jurisdiction. So we click on the Add To button, and we're going to click on the Add to Another List. Now this isn't going to move this task, it's going to create a copy that's going to tell us that it is a copy, which is going to help us sort of keep the information segmented but still centralized within each of the locations. So I'm going to go ahead and click Add, and this is Baltimore City, so we do have an individual folder called Baltimore City. So I'm going to go ahead and move it into the catch-all Baltimore City list. And that's that. It is now added, and so now we can move on to our next activity, which is going to be the demonstration of moving an email that I had provided regarding this activity into the task itself. So we're actually going to hover just down a few of these items and click on the Send Email to Task button. This is a really strong functionality in ClickUp. It gives us the ability to move information that we're using outside the system and create copies of it in a nice streamlined fashion for us to go back and reference. So when I click it, you'll notice that it opens up a pop-up with what looks like an email. And that email is what we're going to use to forward the information into our system. So I'm going to click Copy. And I'm going to move into an email thread that I've already loaded regarding the information that we've done. And I'm going to click Forward, and I'm just going to paste it. Now, your email may be a little funky and sort of add some additional information. All we're concerned with is the email itself. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this information right here, and I'm going to hit Send. It's that simple. The information has now been forwarded. I can do this as many times with as many emails with each respective task. So I'm going to click back into the task, exit out, and you'll see just as quickly as I came back in, this email is here. Now I can assign it, I can share it, I can do other things with it. That's for an addition, or that's for the next training activity. But I just want to demonstrate that this is going to be sort of the recurring activity. So now what we need to do is create a subtask. A subtask is a nested task underneath our activity related to things that we want to do associated with the particular item. Now, since this project is completed, I'm not asking for any items specifically for the technical assistance, but we need to update all the historical information. So I need to assign a task to Nicole and myself to remember to load not just this email, but the presentation material, any discovery items, any notes we took, so that anybody else can come back into this task. So I'm going to go ahead and go to the to-do item, subtask, and create add historical information to the task item. I'll hit save. And now I need to assign it to myself, and I need to assign it to Nicole. Now this project, or this task is not scheduled. It's actually something that we're going to be working on. So I'm going to go ahead and put it as ongoing, and I can begin. So I'm going to go ahead and click back into it, Notice that the task did disappear. That's because we did mark it as completed. If you want to bring it back up, which I do, you click on the show closed up here, and you'll notice that the completed tasks were there. So as I click back in, the next thing we need to do is finalize it by adding any additional relationships that we might have. Now we do have a relationship because I did create another task for a follow-up item. Remember, in the outcome of this TA, it says that we did lead to a follow-up presentation. So what I'm going to do is click on this the three dot button again, and I'm going to go ahead and add a relationship here. The relationship that I'm adding is a task that I created that was associated with this same project, but it was after the fact. So I click on the task, and the task that I did create was called technical assistance. So technical consultation with Baltimore, and that is it. Now, to verify that it was completed, I need to go down here, and you'll see that the relationship was added. And that's that. You can add as much information. You can have fun with it. I know we're busy with a lot of the other things that we're working on, but this will be something that we use ongoing. We'll be populating information on the fly, so it won't be as burdensome as this initial update will be. But if you have any additional questions, you can reach out to our team, and we'll provide you with additional help or support. Thank you for watching, and we hope you enjoy.